This month, the entire month, we shall be doing a series on the women of the Bible and what we learn from them and how their story is connected or correlated to the redemption story. And on Tuesday, we looked at Eve. On Wednesday, we looked at Abigail. Yesterday, we looked at the widow at Zarephath. And today, we are going to look at Ruth. And the main take-home for me from this story of Ruth is exactly what I'm going to share about this afternoon, which is predestination. Predestination. We were all predestined. That is what the Bible says. And from the text that we have just read in Romans 8:29 and 30, it is very clear that we were all predestined. God has it all planned out. Actually, before we even got here on earth, he had it all figured out. And that is why he's called the Alpha and the Omega. He knew when you would come here on earth, and he knows when you will depart. So he knows it all, and he has it all figured out. Actually, it is us who, get surprised, or we are the ones who see each and every day unfolding. But for him, he knows it all. With the passing of each day, we have an unfolding or a revelation of where we ought to be, or where God is directing us, or where God is ordering our steps. But for him, he has it all figured out. And this story of Ruth reminds me that the Lord is always at work. The Lord is always at work. Whether you see it, whether you feel it, whether you perceive it, he is ever at work. Because Psalm 121 verse 4 tells us, and it reminds us that he who watches over Israel neither sleeps nor slumbers. So the Lord is always at work every single moment of our lives. And when we look at the book of the story of Ruth, Ruth was a Moabite. He was a Moabite, yet he had to be in the genealogy of Christ. So we're wondering, how is it that this lady, she's not even a descendant of Judah or has no relationship with anyone from Judah, yet God had planned it that she will be in the genealogy of Christ. But we see how God plays it all out. We see how God goes to Moab. He actually sends Elimelech and his family to Moab. He causes a famine and sends Elimelech and his family to Moab. And in that event, as they go to Moab, then one of the sons gets married to Ruth. And we see Ruth being taken back to Judah, to Bethlehem of Judah, with Naomi. She actually followed Naomi. And that is what I want us to look at. The book of Ruth 1, verse 1 and 2, I'm actually going to read it. It says, "In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to Moab and lived there." So, you might think that probably it was an act of nature that a famine happened. But it is God who caused it, because it was all in the plan of Ruth. It was all in the plan of Ruth's life. By the time she was coming, God knew, yes, you will be born, you will be a Moabite, but at some point in your life, something will happen. I will do this and that, and I will cause you to go to where your destiny is. And that is what we have just seen from what we have read. God caused this family to go all the way because of a famine that God allowed to happen. And verse 15 of that same chapter, it says that, "Look," said Naomi, "your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her." But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates me from you." When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. So the 2 women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them, and the women exclaimed, "Can this be Naomi?" So Ruth might not have been aware of what was awaiting her. Ruth, the Bible does not tell us that God revealed to Ruth that you're going to be at such and such a place, like we saw with Joseph. Ruth was not aware. Probably she didn't even know why she had clung on to her mother-in-law. She probably was not aware of the reason, what is making her not to want to stay in her ancestral land and go to Bethlehem. But destiny was calling her. Destiny was actually beckoning her. Her role that she was created to accomplish is what was pressing on and making her to want to follow her mother-in-law. And in the same way, we all are predestined. Before we were created, God knew you. That is what the Bible tells us. God knew us. He has it all figured out. So whatever journey you have been through, whatever journey you're currently on, whatever journey you're going to go through, or whatever journey you're going to pass by, the Lord has it all figured out. He has planned it. It is not by coincidence. And I think I got to a point in my life where I even stopped using that term coincidence. Coincident. This life is never a coincidence. It is never a coincidence. It all falls out according to the plan and the purpose of God. For us, we might take it as a coincidence because we don't know. We are so blind to the extent that we don't know what is going to happen in the next 2 minutes. I think 5 years ago, when COVID checked in, we didn't know. And in fact, the day before, people's lives were going on well as usual. And then there we go. We are being told lockdown. I don't know what. But God knew. God knew it was coming. And he allowed it to happen. And he allowed it to come. For whatever reason, he knows. So for us, in the same way, the journeys that we walk, the struggles that we go through, the seasons that we find ourselves in life, where you are today, it is all in line with the will of God upon your life. And he is leading you to where he wants you to be because he has it all figured out. The Lord will always send a signal to your radar, like he did with Ruth. He sent a signal. And sometimes you'll find yourself in a place where you're just feeling like there's something that is pushing you towards making a certain decision that will lead you to a certain place. There is always that thing, whether it is change of job, whether it is moving out to a new location, there's just something. Or maybe you're single and there's something that is pushing you that you ought to get married now, yeah? Or or maybe you're in your path of education. Probably you've done your master's and something is just pushing you that, no, you need to do the next thing. God always sends a radar, a signal to our radar. And like we discussed a few days ago, was it yesterday or the day before? That is what is called discernment. The Lord always speaks to you. And if you're not spiritually alert, like we said, it will pass you. You will not get, your radar will not pick that signal. So if you're walking in the will and the purpose of God, then for sure, enter rest. Because where you are is exactly where the Lord wants you to be right now. For as long as you're walking in the will and the purpose of God. And how do you walk in the will and the purpose of God? By being in constant fellowship with him. As you fellowship with him, as you find yourself in that space where you're in constant communion with God, he reveals to you his will. He communicates to you. He tells you. So as long as you know, and in your heart of hearts you know that I am in the will of God, then you are exactly where you ought to be. Enter rest. Remember in the book of Job 1, when the Lord was bragging to the devil about Job and is telling him, have you seen a man who is as righteous as Job? And the devil tells him, Job is only righteous because you have put a hedge of fire round about him. Yeah? So in the same way, the Lord has secured your destiny. There's something that so many false teachers like telling people that, oh, your destiny has been stolen, or your destiny was stolen when you were a child, or when you do this, your destiny is... My brothers and sisters, as long as you are in constant fellowship with God, then there is no way your destiny can be stolen by anyone. Just as we read in Job, and the enemy himself telling God that you yourself have put a hedge round about Job. The Lord has secured you. As long as you're born again and you are his child, he takes it upon himself to secure you, to secure your future, to secure your destiny, where he's leading you to. So there is nothing like, your destiny is going to be stolen, I don't know what. Those are just fallacies. God has your entire life figured out. And no wonder he is called omniscient. He knows. All we have to do is to trust in him. Enter rest, trust in him, and allow him to order your steps. You know, there's the book of Psalms talks of the Lord. The word of the Lord is a light unto our feet and a lamp unto our path. So whatever lights your feet can only give you light to a certain extent. Yeah? It does not give you the whole picture, like the whole path. It means that you have to to take a step today, then tomorrow it lights your other step, like that. It's a constant fellowship and journey that you walk with God every single day to get you to where you're going. And the story of Joseph actually plays it out very well. God revealed to Joseph his destiny. God revealed it to him in a dream. And he showed him that you're actually going to be, in a place of authority. But God did not show him the journey. And sometimes you even look at that story and you're like, for sure, I understand why God did not reveal the entire journey to Joseph. Because Joseph would have refused. If he was told, by the way, before you become that king, you will have to be disliked by your brothers. They will have to sell you as a slave. You will have to be imprisoned. You will have to be accused of rape. The journey was painful. The journey was difficult. But that is the path that God had orchestrated for him to get him to where he intended for Joseph to be. And sometimes as Christians, we tend to believe that the will of God, when it's something good, is when it's the will of God. When someone tells you, congratulates you over something that you have achieved, you'll be like, yeah, I believe that it's the will of God, But also those difficult paths, those hard journeys, those hard seasons that we go through, they're also with the will of God. For Joseph, him being sold, him being imprisoned, if you told him, this is the will of God that you are in prison, he would not believe you. And it's the same way even us today as believers. When you're going through a difficult situation, you're being auctioned. And then someone is telling you, it is the will of God that you are being auctioned. You slept hungry yesterday and someone tells you, it is the will of God that you actually slept hungry. You won't believe him, because we tend to believe that the will of God for us are only those good things. Yet there is a journey that we have to go. There is a path that you have to follow for you to get to where the Lord is leading you. Even Jesus was in the perfect will of God. In fact, he's the best example that we have. He was in the perfect will of God. Even when he was being insulted, when he was being betrayed, when he was being tortured and crucified, when he was, crucified and underwent the worst kind of death that anyone can think, he was still in the will of God. My brothers and sisters, there are difficult things you have gone through. And difficult as it is to agree, you are in the perfect will of God. Even in that pit, the Lord intended for you to go into that pit. For whatever reason, maybe he's molding you, maybe he wants to teach you, and he sees that the best way I can teach you is by taking you there. Probably your struggle is pride, and the Lord had blessed you, and he's saying, this pride is what is standing in the way. Then I will take away everything that comes with this pride so that I can work on you, and you become humble and be a person that I am able to use. So yes, there are those seasons that you will go with that are difficult, but you are in the will of God. And Ruth went through all that. And that is what we are learning from that story of Ruth. Ruth went through grief. She had a husband. The Lord had blessed her with a husband. The Lord did not bless them with children. The Lord knows why. Probably because she was meant to go and get married to another man. And maybe, just maybe, she would be crying to God and asking, Lord, why have you forgotten me? Bless me with a child. Yet the Lord is looking at her and thinking, my friend, this is not the husband that you will stay with. There's another one that is waiting for you in order for you to accomplish that which you were created for. Are we together? So yes, there are things that you will go through. There are things that the Lord will take you through, painful as they are, but allow the Lord to have his will done in your life. Do not interrupt. Do not interfere with the process of the Lord. Do not be like Sarah. Don't bring a Hagar. Don't come and try to fix what the Lord is doing in your life. Allow him to do what he can do. Because when you try fixing, you might end up messing it all. And we even saw it with Judas, and we were reminded the other day. Judas betrayed Jesus. And when he realized the mistake he had done, he tried to fix it. And him trying to fix it led him to the tree. He ended up hanging on a tree because he thought he could fix the mistake that he had made. And the Lord is reminding us today, allow the Lord's will to happen in your life. Whether it looks like it's going in line with what the Lord had revealed to you or not, just allow the Lord to do his will upon your life. You know why? There's a Bible verse here that reminds us very well why. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Isaiah 55. His thoughts are not ours. His ways are not ours. God will use whatever way deems fit for him. He will not consult you. He does not need to consult you. He does not need your opinion. He will use what he knows is best. And most of the time, what he knows is best, according to our human eyes, might not be best for us. But let us enter rest, knowing that everything that is happening is for our good and is meant to lead us to where the Lord has destined for us. Amen.